Well, hello, welcome back. We're going to get ready to work on our next signature, and it's going to be a big one, so this could be a close to an hour video, so just wanted to make sure that you're aware. We're going to do a waterfall. We're going to have a couple of pages, and going to do, I hope, something a little bit different on one of these, so we'll see how it all turns out. So let's start right in with our base page. It is 7 3/8 inches across by 7 7/8. It's a little bit shorter across than our previous signatures because we're going to be building up. So this is going to expand out here, and we want to make sure that we're allowing for enough room for it to fit back into the book. You're going to need, we're going to do 2 waterfalls. You're going to need 8 pieces of cardstock that measure 3.5 by 5, and then you're going to score at 1/2 inch on all of them. Now, I was asked once before why I don't make these larger so somebody could put a 3.5 by 5 photo on these. I'm making these to fit this page. And I want to make sure that there is enough room in between these that visually they look correct. If I make these any larger, then it's not going to look correct on this, and as a designer, I won't be happy with it. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to put exactly 3 by 5 photos on these if you want some of the color to show once we start building these, such as this. So you are going to be cutting down your photos to fit this if you want this to act as your rimmed background. So that is why I cut them to the size that I do. So I've already got everything all taped and scored. And as soon as you cut yours 3.5 by 5, you'll need 8 of them, score them at 1/2 and put your tape on them. And then come on back, and by then we'll be moving on forward to getting these put on. Now, I like to put them on kind of in this direction so that I can see my spacing. And I made a little bit of a pencil mark here so that I could see what my spacing was going to look like, and I need to adjust it. So I'm gonna remove my pencil mark. It's not working. So it looks like I'm going to come in about 3/8 of an inch on each side here, and then I'll have approximately 3/8 of an inch going down the middle. So this is where I'm going to put my pencil mark, and I'm going to put another one right here. And then I'm going to come in about the same 3/8 of an inch here. We may have a little bit more room when we get down here by the time we add all the waterfall in, but that's just fine. I'd rather have a little bit of room than not enough room. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let me find my tools here. Now I'm just going to come in here about 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to be right about there. And then I'm going to put this one in. And these 2 will be my guides. And I want to make sure that, so I've got 3/8, 3/8. I need to lower this one just a smidgen on this end. So I'm going to see if I can't peel this up without tearing the paper and using undo. Nope. I want to lower this just a little bit. Simply because I ended up with more like 1/4 of an inch down here than I did an inch, or 3/8 of an inch. Okay, I like that better. I'm going to go ahead and start lining these up. I'm just putting them down gently because when I fold it over, I want to make sure that they're lining up correctly. And then I'll burnish them here in a little bit. Okay. Now see, I can see this one needs to come up just a hair more on this end. There, that's better. Almost done. Okay, I'm happy with the placement. Giving it a good old firm burnish. Okay, now I just had a brain thought there. I'm going to be mad. No, good. I thought I put them on. I thought I had it turned. Anyway, never mind. All right, so the next piece I want to put in are going to be the tags that are going to close this. So these measure 4 inches by 1.5 inches. And then I've come in on the end and I've scored it at 1/2, and then I've scored it at 3/4. So I'm going to line it up with the 1/2 inch score line. And I know I forgot to put, I get all that on there, and I forget to put the tape. So I'm going to glue this real quick. I prefer tape, but I will use glue on this. So then when you back this up, we're going to take the tape off the magnet. I've already placed mine. I'm going to make sure that this gusset is standing up tall when I lay this down, because this is going to lift as you start putting photos and we start putting papers in it. Oh, look at this. I got too close to the edge. So I need to take these off, and I'm going to back this one up, and then I'm going to see if I can I'll have room to put this on. I'm going to have a really super close call on this. Let's just come in this way a little bit more. Okay, that'll work. So I will keep that in mind when I go to put this one down. So I think I need to take this off while I'm playing with the tag and getting it on. Pete's sake, come off of my finger. Now I'm going to open these up and I'm going to match the placement. Oh, no wonder it wasn't sticking. I had the wrong side down there. Make sure this is standing up straight and it's level. Yeah, that's close, but it'll work. I'll make it work. All right, so I didn't mean to throw those away, gosh darn. Okay, I'm tearing up some strips here to put down so these magnets don't separate off the paper. That's what I'm doing there. So I went to my scraps and I cut a couple of, I thought, photogenic type pieces. I've inked them and I'm just gonna glue these right in place. But I'm gonna tape the ones on the underside because if I don't have this the magnets placed right, I want to be able to get back into these and adjust them. And I just realized I did not cut two for the underside. So I'll get to those later. And the two I'm talking about are the underneath here. Okay, so next, tape. We are going to tape. I'm going to tape the one that goes here on, and then I'm going to tape this one on as well. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to some of my smaller cards and see if there, I like to have a story on the very first one. I'm trying to think of, looks like I've got 3 of these, so let's use one of those. I know it takes away from the amount of photos you can put on, but I like a little bit of a story. So if I'm going to use these, I'm considering now the backgrounds. So that's what I'm going to do there. So I had already pre-cut 16 of these. I've already inked them. And this set, first set I'm going to tape down. Now this one being the one that is the most troublesome because it's right close to the edge, is the one I want to lay down first. And then we'll do this one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to set this one down first. I just realized I think I cut too many of something, but we'll get there when it's time. All right, so that's set. So now do I want brighter ones? Or do I want to go, I think I want brighter. And I'm going to do pumpkin, the autumn greetings on the top, and then, oh, Autumn, so happy to see you again with the cute little fox on the bottom. And these I'm just going to go ahead and glue in place. All right, now I have over here all of my pieces that I've cut, and I want to make sure that what I'm looking at here for these are going to flow. I want them to be the same, so we'll see. I'm just going to kind of place a couple of them here and see what they look like. And then I'm going to do pumpkins. And then I've got, these will all go on the underside. It looks like I have an odd one, so we'll see how that goes. I wanted to do the underside, but we'll see. I think I just I might be short one is what I'm mumbling on here about. So we'll see. I can always cut it for later from a strip. Make sure I didn't get on that seam. Oh, I'm erupting with glue here. Goodness sakes. Gentle, gentle, gentle. I had to put on a new metal tip. For some reason, it's not connecting very well. I'm going to have to look at that real quick here. Excuse me, I need to grab a napkin. Hold on. I gotta take this off real quick. Clean it up. I've got way too much glue coming out of there. Okay, let's see if we can do this again without having a bit of an explosion. And I think for the sake of time, I am going to move on with creating this. I have all these cut that I'm going to put on the underside, but like I said, for the sake of time, I'm going to move on so we can try and finish this up without doing a very lengthy video. Because one thing I need to do is I do need to cut this, and I failed to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of coming right up to where that score line is, making my little tick mark. Making my little tick mark. This is more important to me to get done than it is to put those other panels on, because I can do those later. And then I'm doing a 1/4 inch round. Put on just enough ink to hide the white edges. Tuck that tape under. I like using tape because it gives me an instant seal around these magnets. And now I'll come back in here. I've already got it cut to the length. I just need to trim to the width. And then round my corners again. Now there are some adorable small stickers that I think would look cute on the underside of this. I'm just going to use my fingernails because it's a small enough project. Well, that's not going to let me. I don't want to tear it. Okay, tuck those back under. All right, so that I'm happy with. Okay, so we can move on. Now I hope I haven't made a mess of things here. All right, this panel, there's two of them that are going to be the same size. They're measuring at 6 inches across by your height, which is 7 7/8. And then you have a 1/2 inch score and a 5/8 of an inch score. So 6 by 7 7/8, 1/2 inch, and 5/8 of an inch score. So I am going to go ahead and get these put on. Now I'm going to have some, oh, I just saw something. I have to change your instructions. We have a 1/4 inch gusset here on these, and a 5/8 is not going to cover over these. So we need to rescore. I need to rescore this at 3/4. So get the 1/2 inch, and then we're going to do a 3/4 inch. Because this has got to mount up over, which means it's going to change my paper that I've cut, because I pre-cut everything. And it's going to change the final page. Ay, ay, ay. Hi, Chihuahua. Okay. This is kind of going to make a mess of my gusset. Not real happy with myself right at the moment because I did not think about this. So I'm going to try and flatten out that 5/8 of an inch gusset as I'm working the 1/4 inch gusset. All right. Okay, so this is going to sit on your 1/4 inch score mark here. That's what's going to sit right on top of that so that this will wrap over it. It's going to give you a little bit of a pushback, so just be aware of that. And I can see right now I've got a magnet that's not sitting right, because one's lining up just fine and the other one's giving me trouble. So hopefully, oh, for Pete's sake, I'm going to have to do it this way. Right. I'm going to flatten these out and come right up there, and then I'm going to fold this over. Oops. Oh, I think I made a mess of my gusset. Well, it's not as pretty as I want it to be. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so now that's going to close right over that, and I'm going to clamp this until that glue reseals on this gusset. Now where's my other one? I did not think that through. I knew I needed to gusset here, but I didn't think through the size of it very well. Now this one's going to be easier to place because I don't have the tabs on this end. Okay, so far so good. I have to grab my scoreboard because I need it again here. It fell on the floor, so hang on just a second. All right, now, before I get all disarrayed here, I think I should be okay now. I'm using 12 by 12 papers to cut these two panels. And I'm going to have to retrim them because I messed up. So you hopefully won't have this issue because you should be scoring correctly. And I'm going to put this one over here, so bear with me while I fix. All right, so if you're just tuning in, you should be scoring at 1/2 and scoring at 3/4 because of the buildup that we have sitting over here. All right, so I can actually glue these in place. Now, this paper actually runs this way, but I wanted to change. I've already got paper running that direction. Here is the base. So I wanted to change the direction and give the eye a different flow. So I have actually turned it. So that's why if you're looking at this going, what did she do? I did that on purpose. I knew I was doing that. All right, now I have two little, okay, this card is going to go down here. I am missing a card. Okay, I have another small card I was going to put down here, and I seem to, after all this jostling around, misplaced it. All right, so I have another card I'm putting down here. I think I'll find it as soon as I clean up my mess. I do have a mess here. I apologize. A crafter's desk is rarely, I won't say never, but rarely neat. Now what I want to do is I want to create a tuck here at the bottom. So if you've got those larger photos or there's those larger items, I'm going to come up just about 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. And then I took off the sticker sheet this adorable little squirrel, backed him on some cardstock. I know what I'm saying. And I'm just going to glue his ears so that this can be a tuck here on the top. And then I have a little bird I did the same thing with. I have a little bird, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue here across the top and a little bit right there on that tip, so that when he comes up here in this corner, get some of this glue off of here. Then he's the tuck up there. And like I said, I have another one I was going to put down here, but I will find it. Okay, so let's move on to our outer pages. And I have to rescore these to a larger score because now I've got to get up over the 1/4 inch that we've just built up here. So I'm going to kind of destroy this score mark. I'm really kind of upset with myself here. This is going to have to be, this piece, this measures at 6 3/4 by your 7 7/8. You're going to have a 1/2 inch score, and then you're going to have a 7/8 score. I've got to increase by an 1/8. I need 3/8 here to get up and over. I need to come in right here. This is such thick cardstock that I've got to kind of go over it a couple times. Now, if I did this right, I hope I don't have to recut 2 pieces. No, look, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so actually while this is on here, so I need this gusset to wrap over this gusset. So I'm going to come right up to that new score mark on mine. Yours should be the 7/8 score line. And then I'm going to wrap over so that this new larger gusset absorbs everything that we've already built in there. So now I'm going to do the same over here on this one. I got to kind of destroy this so that I don't try to refold on it. And this is the only way I know how to do it. Five-eighths. I feel like I'm sawing paper But this is where I'm also very happy that I'm using a heavier cardstock, because if I was using a lightweight cardstock, I would be beating it up right about now. Okay, so let's get this folded up here, and then I will work this new gusset line, and at the same time again try to destroy that. I call it destroying. All right, now this is the one that's really going to matter, because we've got so much built up in there. So once again, I'm coming right up to that 5/8 because I want this new gusset to wrap up over everything we've built. Oh, beautiful. Oh. All right, so now I just need to retrim these papers. I'm going to have to redo these. So now I can remember what I had, what my pattern was. I've got myself all messed up here. Oh, this is my outside piece. This is my outside piece. Okay, well actually, I don't have to trim that. I'm just not going to have a whole lot of room on. I'm okay. Whew. But I'm probably going to have to trim. Now these, I'm sorry, I'm rethinking what I built here because I've got myself a little flustered. Okay, so these are both the same size. All right, so these I am going to have to trim down a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. Okay, that went there. And then this one I'm going to trim down to about here. Okay, let's get these glued in. I'm afraid to squeeze really hard on this, that this tip's gonna fill up again. So I feel like I'm just doing it ever so gently and I'm not getting enough glue out. I'm not liking how that's laying at all. I'm going to get a different trimmer going here. It's funny how sometimes I can trim something on one trimmer and it just doesn't trim cleanly. Yet I can go to another one and I get a better fit. Excuse me, I need to look at this a little closer. I gotta take more off. Ah. I so apologize for this. I really do. I just did not think through that waterfall very completely. And had I done so, I would have taken the time to have cut new paper because I can always use it on the next signature. All right, so now this inside panel here, I'm using this beautiful burgundy piece of paper. And I'm not going to worry about trimming it down. I'll just have less of a die presence on the inside. Because I'm not taking off a whole lot that I'm going to worry about it. But at least you will be cutting and trimming correctly. So in your chipboard pieces, I have this, in my stash, this beautiful dark burgundy ribbon that I'm going to use, and I'm going to create a tuck here at the bottom so that you can tuck in a, put it at a little off slant so you can tuck in something in there. My brain is going 90 miles an hour right at the moment because I have this I have to put on, and I think I'm going to do that right now before I get any farther along. This is going to keep this closed. But again, not thinking things through, I'm going to have to rescore. Well, I can shorten up my score and go 5/8 instead of a half. Or I can go this way an 1/8. I think I'd rather shorten it up here on the bend. And yes, I've got tape there, but I'm not worried about it because the tape is going to be wrapped around the outside of the book. Because I've already cut my papers. So I want that right there. Stay in place, quit wiggling around. Okay. Now am I going to have to adjust my magnets? No. Well, wait a minute. Yes. I need to come this way a little bit. Not too far, just a little bit. I just want to get off this seam is what I'm trying to do. Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh, silly, silly me. Okay, well, I'm not real happy about that placement, but I think I can figure out, I can fix this end of it. I can tape this end. Here you're watching me think this through. I don't want to use more undo and undo that and undo that, so I'm just going to think this through here. So if I do that, because tape gives me an instant seal. I don't know how well this is going to work. Well, it's going to go on a little bit crooked. Let's go ahead and let's put this panel in before I forget what I'm going to do here. All right, I am using, I've got a burgundy piece over here. I want burgundy over here, but most of it's going to get covered up. So I'm using the solid side out of the patterns. And then I've cut a piece of cardstock to fit in up here at the top. I'm taking the corners, I back them onto brown paper out of my scrap, and they're going to come in up here. And this one's going to go here, and I know there's another one floating here somewhere. There it is right there in front of my face. And all I'm going to do is run a really thin strip of tape around the edges because I want you to be able to come in here and tuck a photo up under those. This, out of your frames, I have a piece of the acrylic underneath of this, and I'm going to simply tape down this, the right side edge and the bottom, so that you can come in this way, place a photo, and then you can just tack down this corner and it will all be pretty secure. So I want it across the bottom. And I want it on the right corner. I'm going to play with this before I attach it. Got some tape hanging there on this end. Okay, so this is going to be a very snug fit, but it will fit in there. And then we're going to have the chipboard piece, cardstock piece up here. And I have just about the same rim up at the top as I do on the bottom. Now, I'm going to take a tape that's roughly 1/8 of an inch wide. And then I'm going to come right up almost to the corner, because I would like to see a little bit of that orange on the outside of this. Get all that excess, I kind of overran the tape there. And same thing, I just want ever so little of an edge. And then this one. And then the last one. Okay. Now, because of the weight of this, I'm going to go ahead and tape it in place. I've got this upside down for some reason, so I'm double checking my work here. Okay, right up to the edge, and I am gonna lose. Oh, wait a minute! Wait! Ah! Almost blew it. All right, so these last two pieces, I need to gather all my little goodies. Whoops, I am so sorry. Tried to turn a light off on you. Okay, so I'm using this beautiful pumpkin pattern. This piece I am going to trim down a little bit because I want to see more of the scallop on the outside. So I'm just going to come off a fraction of an inch, not by much. Not by very much at all. And re-ink. And then we're going to tape this one down because I've got the magnet on this side. This one, let's see, do I need to do, I'm going to just do a little bit of a trim on this as well. Because on these outside pages, I do want a little bit more of the design showing. God, that's so pretty, but I think it's too much. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my original thought. I want this to stand out. So we're gonna put tape on the pretty side. Tape. I must be getting rummy for Pete's sake. I can't even talk. We're gonna put glue on the outside, on the pretty side. I'm going to cap off that undo. I just know I'm going to spill it. Okay, let's get some tape on this. All right. I want to kind of get this placed. All right. Told you it was going to be a big signature. All right, now this is my intent was to put Hello Autumn right here at the top. And then I'm going to just ink the very tips of the flowers that you'll find in your ephemera pack. And I'm going to put one down here. And then doing the same with the smaller ones. I don't need the whole thing inked, just the tips to get rid of that white. And it's going to glue here in the center. And then there is this funky little floral centerpiece is what I'm going to call it, that I'm going to put right here. And then in the, if this is what you have, because you didn't get the brass pieces, no worries. This is what you're working with right here. Okay, I got the brass pieces, and what I did was I cut the little notch off that you would string a chain or a string. There we go. But I'm going to use some glossy accents, if I can get it out of here, to glue this flower, brass flower in the center. Got a nice gob going there. Okay, so then my intent is, see if this works. If you got the bundled package, you got this ribbon. And I'm taking some of the gold ribbon and I'm creating some leaves, if you will, that will be coming up and around this. And I'm missing one. It's here somewhere. There it is. I knew I'd cut 5. So placement is kind of a issue for me. So I've got to kind of lift this. And then I'm going to tack these in place. With the shortest one here on this end. And then the big flower. Okay, and this I mounted so that it would stand up a little bit. Backed it on some cardstock. It came out of the ephemera, Hello Fall. And then I'm finishing the theme by taking this ephemera piece, backed it on some cardstock because I inked the edges and I didn't want to see ink. It's gonna go right here. But I love fall most of all. Now, I'm better off to ink this. Listen to me. Glue this, because I'm not quite sure where my glue would be on the underside. Okay. So the only thing that I have to finish is to put all these pieces in, and then you're going to want to cut 8 of your choice floor pattern paper that's about 3/8 of an inch wide. Ink the edges if you are so inclined, and cover these gussets. If you don't care about covering them, don't worry about it. So I will finish this up, but this allows me to let you know what needs to be done to finish this. You've got some very large photo opportunities here, some tucks, pages. You can do something here if you wish. You've got some rub-ons. You might want to put one on. Personalize it. That's the whole point of my leaving some of this to you to play with. Okay, so now I'm going to run, I'm using 5/8 inch tape because this is a big signature. And as I do this, I'm paying attention to my gusset because my having to rescore everything, my gusset wants to roll on me. So I want to make sure that I'm putting the tape on the essential part, not the piece that wants to try to roll over. And then when I put it in the book, I'm going to be paying attention to that as well. When I go to remove the tape, I'm going to want to make sure that my gussets are standing up straight. Now I'm going to run a couple of 5/8 or 3/8 of an inch strip for some center support. And let's go ahead and let's get this in the book. And we'll see how we did. Now, in the very beginning, I told you that I have this here as kind of as my guide to make sure that I'm not running into this gusset, and I bet I'm going to fill every bit of that up. Because I'm going to bring this right to the edge, and yes, I am going to cover all of that up. Boy, did I call that, didn't I? Whoops, hold on. This is leaking on me, so let me get this capped off. All right, I'm going to do something just a tad bit different. I usually just take off these two, but with this one gusset wanting to collapse, I'm going to take the tape off of it as well, so that when I put it down, I'm putting it down nice and flat. And I'm turning it this way so that I can see what I'm doing, because I need to be right up here on this edge. Set it in here straight. I'm going to get in here and burnish real quick. And I'll have to get back in here in a minute, but I want to get the rest of this tape off. Isn't this fun watching me try to get into tape? All right, this gusset wants to collapse, so I'm going to push in on it. A lot of unfolding here. Okay, so as we finish this up and we get this in the book, just remember that you've got the time to go ahead and finish up with these little intricate things and put your paper on the back. I am simply trying to keep your video time minimized, so I am going the wrong way. I'm going to finish up here, and I will put the rest of it on off video. So thanks for hanging in there. It was a long one, folks. I'll see you on the next one.